Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you in whatever time zone in the world that you may be listening to this podcast. So, probably you are in the kitchen making jollof rice, or you are coming back from your class. You are probably getting ready for a night out. I want to say welcome to this very episode of Behind the Veil. So, yeah, how you guys doing? Since the last time I released an episode, yeah, I hope you're good and I hope you are trusting in the fatherhood of God. I hope you are taking off your anxiety. I hope you are taking off the pressures of this life, the cares of this world. I hope you are lifting up your burdens and placing it on His feet. And I sincerely do hope, honestly, I sincerely do hope you are allowing God to be your father. You're also allowing Him take up the responsibility and fulfilling His responsibility, right? So yeah, welcome once again, and I remain your host Kelvin, and I'm glad and I'm happy that you guys are here with me. So before I even dive into what we have today, I could remember, someone reached out to me and as regards this podcast, as someone very dear, and she said, Kelvin, stop promising or over promising in your podcast. I was like, okay, what do you mean? And she said, you keep telling us that you release it on Wednesday, and now on Wednesday it's not yet out. I don't even know what to say. Probably that is a threat or a warning, but I think I'll take it as a warning. Yeah, so I'll try as much as possible not to over promise, because the best of us, the best of man is just a man, and considering us sometimes we just want to show up consistently, but work, several responsibilities here and there just keep popping up and you just have to fulfill it. So I'll try as much as possible on my part not to promise you that the podcast will come out every Wednesday, even though that is my intention. That is indeed my intention. So obviously will come out soonest after every episode has been released. But okay, after every previous episode has been released, But yeah, I'll try my possible best to do that. So of course, in the last episode we spoke about relationship and timing, okay, and one of the major takeaways from last episode that case may be, was that love is beautiful and love doing God's timing is beautiful, okay. And one thing that we also looked at was love is a powerful tool and love is a force that is meant to build up and not destroy. And so when love happens at the wrong time, when love is happening at the wrong timing, instead of it building up, it might cause unnecessary pain, okay. And we should look at the verse which was Song of Solomon chapter 8 verse 4, which says, do not awaken love until it is time. So just because you feel a connection with someone doesn't mean you should turn that connection into a commitment, okay. And and basically the anchor scripture, that was the anchor scripture for the last episode. So basically I'm sure that if you followed through, I'm sure that you really picked out one or two things. I'm sure that of course last episode was indeed a contribution of value to you, okay. So this new episode we'll be looking at romantic relationship and timing part 2, but we're taking it into another direction and focusing more on gender specific approaches in romantic relationship, timing and configuration. What does that even mean? We know that the way men love is different from the way women love, okay. They approach love differently, and understanding these differences might just save each and every one of us, or save several of us from emotional pain, save some of us from many headaches. That just understanding how women see love, that if men could understand how women view love, and if women could in a way understand how men view love, because of course we have two different perspectives. The way a woman view love, a man can understand it to save the man a lot of heartaches, to save the man a lot of headaches, to save the man a lot of from asking a lot of questions. So the same thing with women. For example, women are generally emotional, right? And they are more relational. And it has been scientifically proven that from a young age, as early as 6, 7, women girls are already dreaming of their wedding day. They're already dreaming of the dress they'll be putting on. Okay. They're already in a way they are socialized to think about relationships, socialized to think about their emotions, socialized to even think about marriages. Right? So they if you study that gender, oh, why am I saying that gender? If you study the female gender, you would realize that they process things faster emotionally. Okay, they begin to imagine the future. For those of us that probably been in a relationship, or for those of us that are in a relationship, and you're not even in a relationship before, you could probably just understand this. And I'm sure women will agree to this. Women, in a way, that if they see a guy that likes them, if they see a guy they're trying to vibe with, they're trying to build a connection with, they begin to think about the future. They begin to think about marriage. They begin to think about their kids, how many kids they would have with this same person, and they begin to think again: is this person emotionally ready? Would this person be a good leader? Would this person be a good provider? As even think down to what I would put on at their wedding day with this person, begin to dream about the future, even in relationship. And this even before you ask them out, or even before they give you an answer. And even when they have given you an answer, they begin to think about this stuff. Think about marriage, think about wedding, think about kids, think about your capacity to lead. And if probably have said yes to you, they want you to become a better man. That is women. And men differently. And that is just the way women are wired. That is just their wiring. Now, think about it when it comes to men. Okay, we process things differently. We are generally taught, the society has taught us, our environment has taught us that we should focus more on achievements, focus more on our vision, focus more on provision. So in a way, women look at stability first before relationship. Okay, so no matter how much we like a lady, no matter how much we vibe with a lady, no matter the connection, no matter how strong it is, we begin to think about stability first before we begin to think about relationship. And even when we are in love with somebody, and even when we are in a relationship with somebody, it will take quite a lot of intentionality on our part to start thinking of kids. Like, imagine, not thinking of kids, but imagine how our kids will look like. Of course, you say, oh, I want to have 3 kids, case close. But men will start thinking like the way women think is quite different. Now, imagine a woman thinking about a wedding day, thinking about the dress she'll be putting on as early as 6. We've never thought of that, All our mind is probably Nickelodeon, probably we want to play football and the likes. It's just the design. It's just our wiring. We are quite different. Okay. For a man, if he genuinely likes a woman and he doesn't feel configured in a way emotionally, he doesn't feel configured, that means ready financially, he doesn't feel ready spiritually, he wouldn't in a way fully commit himself. And even when he does, he will be frustrated because of there's this pressure, like he needs to be ready financially, he just needs to be there on top of his game, like stability first before relationship. And that is okay. That is our wiring, that is our design. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule. Of course, there may be people that defiles this rule, but that's just the general rule of thumb. Okay, so breaking it down and looking it or taking it a step further. Okay, timing, configuration. Why do they matter? Why does timing matter? Why does configuration matter when it comes to romantic relationship and timing? Okay. You see, in my own humble opinion, when we talk about configuration or the point of being ready, that's what configuration means. In this context, that's what configuration means. We're looking at the word capacity, we're looking at the word clarity. Okay, so be configured for love in this sense, or being ready for love. Let me put it that way. I think that's the right word to use. Be ready for love means that you're emotionally, you're spiritually, and you're mentally ready to carry whatever in any way comes with loving and being loved. Okay, so it's not just about feelings, it's not just about catching feelings, it's not just about throwing away feelings, giving someone your feelings, giving someone your heart, and so on, receiving their heart. So setting questions like, can you handle vulnerability? Can you communicate without manipulation? Can you communicate without gaslighting? Do you know your purpose well enough in order for you not to be distracted? Okay, and these are the questions we should look at. These are the things that we should look at as Gen Zs. And if you are not a Gen Z listening to this podcast, thank you for joining us, by the way. But for those of us that are Gen Zs, for those of us that are young, you realize that these are important questions because, in a way, romance is an important subject that we just cannot overlook. Okay, and if we like, I'll just keep saying it. Our anchor scripture since the inception of this podcast is the very first episode for this season, right? Says there's a time for everything, and that means even love. There's time for love. There's time for commitment. There's time for heartbreak. I know I said heartbreak, but yeah, of course there'll be a time for heartbreak when one is not fully ready and is committed to someone who is ready. The one who isn't fully ready might just drop it or spoons. Anyhow, there shall be a time for heartbreak. Whether it is one that is fully ready that drops the bombshell, or the one who isn't ready, whatever, there must shall be heartbreak. So there is a time for heartbreak. There's a time for commitment. There is a time for love. In my opinion, there is a time for commitment, right? And if you are not ready, love is a blessing. I won't stop saying it. Love is a powerful force. Love is powerful, okay? And it should feel like a blessing. If you're in love with someone and you and the person are committed to each other, your life should improve, right? So if you are not ready, what should feel like a blessing would end up becoming like a battle. We end up causing you pain, end up causing you heartaches, and I'm sure you do not want that. I'm sure I do not want that also. I'm sure you get just like love, like with the wrong timing. That is basically, it's just it. Just the wrong timing is just what it is. And why preparing for this episode? There was a study I stumbled across, or I came across rather, and it is a study by the Pew Research Center, and they found out that 74% of women aged 18 to 35 consider emotional readiness as a key factor in relationships, while over 60% of men in the same category prioritize career stability first. Over 60% of men in the same category prioritize career stability first. It's just the design, it's just the wiring. Oh, I must be emotionally ready for me to commit to a man. That is from a woman's perspective. For a man, I must be my pocket must be there, stable. If I can say I want to be ready for a woman. Like, I'm sure at some point sure can relate. I can relate, sure can relate. Okay, like each and every one of us can indeed relate to this and say, right, this is true. So, valuable insight from Psychology Today, according to Dr. Seth Meyers, that is a licensed clinical psychologist. And what she said, I don't know if it's I'm not sure, but I'm so sorry, but I don't know if it's a man or a woman. But according to the research, it says that women tend to reach emotional maturity earlier and may pursue commitment sooner, right? While men can delay emotional availability due to external pressure like work or identity. So, in a way, Dr. Seth Meyers is just verifying, or what the research is just in accordance with what the Pew Research Center has done. That's just it. Now, if we're not looking at it from the Christian perspective, if we decide to break it down, look at it from the spiritual aspect, we would realize that one good example that comes to mind would be the story of Adam, right? And Adam was doing something, tending the garden, fulfilling purpose. So it was then that God said, "Oh, it's not good for a man to be alone." And bam, 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 God made Adam to fall asleep. Then Eve was formed. So in other way, we can see it's more or less like identity. No, yeah, he had an identity. He had the sense of purpose. He was working before Eve came. So God didn't bring Eve while Adam was lost, while Adam was idle. Purpose came first. So he was busy doing his stuff, just tending to the garden, working. Then Eve came. Now, if we now also look at another passage of the Bible that is worth noting, which I think is Proverbs 31, that talks about the virtuous woman. So, if we look at the virtuous woman, according to that verse, according to that chapter, the verses there, it speaks about women, a virtuous woman being industrious. It speaks about her being purposeful. It speaks about her being resourceful. She, in a way, wasn't in a way waiting for her Boaz, so to speak. Why Adu? She was doing something too. She's regarded as being industrious. She's regarded as being resourceful. She was regarded as, or she is regarded as being purposeful. So that means if you're even regarded as being resourceful, it means you're even doing something. So no one can call you industrious if you've not done something or you're doing something. So no one will call you being resourceful if you aren't doing anything at the moment, or if you haven't done something before. Right? And no one will call you purposeful if they haven't related with you, see the way you talk and see what you've done, or see the way you are acting. Right? So in a nutshell, as much as each and every one of us have different configuration, each and every one of us have different design, different wiring, different makeup. The way a man thinks is different from the way a woman thinks. The way a man view love is different from the way an angle a woman view love. Okay, like it's just different. A man can be in a way loving to his best, and a woman will be like, "Sir, you're not loving me the way you should be. You're not loving me. I don't feel love." And to the man is like, "But I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm getting you gifts. I'm getting you all the nice stuffs." And the woman is, "No, I need your attention. Yeah, I love the nice stuffs. I love all of the stuff you're doing, but I need your attention. I need your time." That to the woman, like love, but the man is like, "Nah." But yet, for we to adequately understand this concept of love, we need to look at it from the other person's perspective. As a man, what is your woman's perspective about love? As a woman, what is your man's perspective about love? In general, how do the female gender see love, and how does the male gender see love? I'm sure you'll get the gist, right? I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. But yeah, love is not a substitute for personal growth or divine assignment. Yeah, I'll take that again. As much as I'm talking about romantic relationship and timing, I would say love is not a substitute for personal growth. Love is not a substitute for divine assignment. No matter who you're in love with, no matter who you're in a relationship with, please, I beg you, you must grow. The person should leave you better. No, not the person should leave you rather, but your life right now, in comparison to what you were before you met this person, or before you said yes to this person, or began a relationship with this person, look at it, weigh them side by side. Is your life, the way you are now, better than the way it used to be? Have you increased in value? Have you grown as a person? Have you grown in your assignment? Have you grown personally? Right? That is just like by the way. But of course, you're not waking up at it this time. Okay, yeah, I know you want the emotional stuff. I know you want your person. I know you want someone that will tell you all the good stuffs. There's someone to gist with. There's someone to rest your head on his shoulder. I know, I get it. But that verse is just like a warning to a soul. Find solace in God. Do not haste. Do not give in to haste. Find solace in God. Love is powerful, but when it's awakened at the wrong time, it can be destructive. It can be something else. Okay, so if you are one that would rush into romance without maturity, or without having go ahead from God, it's like, in a way, if we are being honest, stepping into deep waters without in a way learning how to swim. That is how I feel it is. That is what I think it is. Okay? That is what I think it is. You are stepping into deep waters, and there's no, of course, you can't walk on water. Even Peter, he needed Jesus to give him the go ahead before he came on water. Yet, yeah, he almost failed because he lost sight of Christ. Yeah. But at least Jesus gave him the go ahead. And even when that happened, Jesus could still stretch forth his hand and pick him up because gave him the go ahead. That story is an important story, if you'd ask me. And what is that? There's a lesson to draw from there. And the lesson is that if God gives you an instruction and you obey, He's ready to hold you even though you are falling. Even though you probably take your sight off Him, it wasn't intentional, but you took your sight off Him, you fell, or you lose your focus on your gaze. His hand is right there to draw you out of deep waters, right? So that is just it. It's an important lesson to take home. But please, I'll say it again, please do not go into a relationship if you are not emotionally ready, if you are not ready, if you have not reached maturity, so to speak, or God hasn't given you a go ahead. God must give you a go ahead. You must have a yes or no from God. You must have a yes from God. Okay? Just make sure and be sure that it is God that is giving you the go ahead. And a practical application, or more or less like extended insight, if you want to call it that way. I want you to, in a way, answer this question. Funny enough, I realized that in every episode I'm always asking a question. I think I started this episode too with a question. So either I'm asking a question at the beginning of an episode, or I'm ending it with a question, or sometimes it's both. Sometimes I'm starting with a question and I'm ending it with a question. But notwithstanding, it's just to help us. So yeah, are you in a way? So yeah, oh God, it's just so funny to me. So please forgive me. So are you in a way emotionally whole? Let's put it that way. Or are you seeking someone to completely? That, like, I jotted that question, and let me even put it that way. Please, I beg you, be happy in yourself first. Do not seek happiness in others first. Do not say, hey, when I'm in a relationship, I'll be happy. Be happy when you are single. Be happy when you are single. As you're a single person, be happy. Let the other person to be happy. That's my own prescription to all of this. Let the person be 100% is in a way, his happiness is full. Your happiness is full. You are coming together. Not that you are looking for the other person to be happy. In my own opinion. Alright. And again, do you have vision? Do you have a sense of direction? This will be because if you being in a relationship with the wrong person, of course you envision a person, you envision a future with this person, and you got get married. It can be something else, because this person in a way can derail you. I guess somebody said love is not enough. Of course, you need to have a sense of direction. You need to have a vision, because that in a way can vet whoever you're in a relationship with, or you are going to be in a relationship with. It's going to vet them. So someone would come into your life and get out, but your vision will know who to let in or who to let out. Okay. And secondly, please, it's practical. I'll put it as a practical application, which is respect divine timing. Waiting is hard. I said in the last episode, I'll say it again. I don't mind saying it for each time I'll be discussing about romantic relationship and timing. Please, I beg you, respect divine timing. Love is not just about who, but when. Right? The person is as important as the timing. Isaiah 60 verse 22. When the time is right, the Lord will make it happen. The Lord will make it happen in His time. The Lord will make everything happen in His time. And everything that happens in God's time is beautiful. Everything that happens in God's time is worth waiting for. And when you actually do wait, you will not in a way remember the pain. You will not remember the odds. You won't remember the scars you've had along the way, because you waited. Okay? And yes, please and please, stop trying to fix fast forward people. What does that mean? Let people go in their pace. And yes, please and please, don't marry potential. I don't have to explain more than that. But don't marry potential. Don't date assumptions. Yeah, I think that is better. That is what I would say. That is quite better. Don't date assumption. Don't assume for this person. Don't date due to assumption. Don't marry due to assumption. I do not know how to explain more than this, and I hope and I'm sure, not I'm sure, but I sincerely do hope and pray that you get what I'm trying to say. Yeah, this person has potential for the future. Good and fine, but make sure you have God's backing for it. That is what I would say as regards that. Because I'm in love with this person, because I feel like this person have a potential for the future. Good, but make sure it is God that is leading you there. And don't date assumptions. Don't assume, please. It's risky. Don't assume. Okay? Don't assume. And please again, wait. In your waiting, wait in purpose, not passivity. Okay? Preparation is not punishment. Wait, prepare. So while waiting, prepare. While waiting, do something. Go, attend seminars, read books, right? Prepare. Preparation is not punishment. You're not punishing yourself for waiting. It is adding to you. Yes, it is a pain at that moment, but when you've grown and you look back, you will not remember the pain again. There will be no scars there again. The waiting period is not a wasting period, right? It's not a wasting period. This is not a wasting period. So let me just bring this to an end, and by God's grace, we'll take it a step like much more further next time. Because I'm actually considering having an interview, not necessarily an interview, but a conversation. So I'll bring someone up and we'll just have a conversation. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but like I said, it's going to be an interesting journey. It's going to be an interesting conversation. It's going to be an interesting journey that each and every one of us would enjoy, right? Drop comments. Yeah, drop your thoughts. Let's just keep the conversation going. Okay? But yeah, love is beautiful. Love is truly beautiful. Do not rush. Do not rush. And do not rush. Why? Because when you rush, it might lead to broken timelines. It might lead, of course, to broken hearts. So understand your wiring. Understand the wiring of the other gender. Honor God's timing. Yeah, honor God's timing and check your readiness. There are times that you may feel you're not ready, but God will give the go ahead. Yeah, of course, there are times like that. But just trust God's timing. Okay? So whether you're a woman which is wired to nurture, or you're a man who is wired to build and protect, I want you to know that love is not meant to be forced. Don't force someone to love you. Don't force someone to have affection for you. Do not force someone to long for you or to desire you. Okay? You are called to receive it. In my opinion, you were called to receive it when the season is due. It's not something you rush for. It's not something you would force. It's just like you'd receive it. You would receive it and you'll be glad you did. Okay? And you'll be happy you did. For those of you that are not in a relationship, you'll be fine. Why for those of you that are in a relationship, I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. But if you are probably in a relationship that seems as though you're the only one putting effort, or it seems as though you're forcing the relationship, my own advice is please reevaluate it. Look at it again and reevaluate your decision, reevaluate your relationship, and trust God. I'm sure you'll be fine. So until the next episode, and yeah, if this episode has blessed you, which I'm sure it has, please just share it to people. And let's wait for the next episode. So until next episode, live intentionally, live purposefully, and yeah, trust me. Please trust the fatherhood of God. So trust me as I'm saying this. Trust the fatherhood of God. So until then, bye bye.